Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our great partners, Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. Driving a BMW is like hitting the perfect shot. Smooth, controlled and powerful. Titleist, the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Better, when the greats bet, they bet with Better. Ping will help you play your best. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Now, here's Nick and Mark.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It is time for a Monday Mini. Nick, nice to see you.
And you, Mark.
Dan, what is next? I don't know.
Oh, well, you do know. We talked about it last week. Remember about the Australian players that we were...
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes,
remember
I
that
do.
conversation?
Now I do remember. Talk about the Aussie players.
Yeah.
And the first time since, the 1950s that everyone's missed the cut.
At the Men's US Open, yeah.
At a Men's US Open. Yeah.
And the wolfpackers noticed, as you would expect. We had a lot of comments on it. You know, we had... look, I've got a bunch of emails here. I'm not going to read them all because there's just too many. But, David, Nathan, Ross, there was a whole bunch of people. I'll read a couple of comments which give you the gist of the question, which is, I think, helpful. So this one here from Ross. What's happening with men's golf in Australia? We are going backwards. Love your thoughts. Nathan, you might disagree with the premise, but why does Australia punch below its weight in golf? For a place with a golf course on almost every second corner, we cannot convert it to a sustainable presence on the pro tours. Even South Africa has got a better record than we do. Now, there was a whole bunch of other comments, but that's pretty much the gist of what people were saying. And to be honest, a lot of them sounded pretty pissed off.
Yeah, and look, it is focused on men's golf too. Let's make that point because the girls are doing extremely well. Well, let's just go through the players, okay, Nick? So Jason Day has been improving, but hurt his back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I don't think...
Well, we're talking about the US Open that missed the cut. Okay.
Let's just talk about recent history because they're not just saying that they didn't play well in the US Open. They're saying that there's a gaping hole in performance. So,
well, you see the numbers on the tours.
Yeah,
are completely different to back in the day when I was playing.
Yes.
We had 15 guys in Europe playing, probably a dozen or so in the US playing. Yeah. It's nowhere near those numbers.
Nowhere near that.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near it now. And you say that 15 Australians on the European Tour, I reckon there was about half a dozen New Zealanders as well.
No, exactly.
Throw in Vijay Singh from this area and,
No, we don't want to be associated with Vijay Singh. Okay, let's not go there.
So the numbers were extreme. There's got to be a little bit of development. I mean, you can't dance around it, can you? You can't dance around it. The other thing, and we talk about this a bit, is that in the 90s, we were playing for a hell of a lot more money than they are now. And I know it's been difficult, and believe me, the PGA Tour and the Australian PGA and Golf Australia, they're doing all they can, as far as I can see, to try and get a better situation for the kids coming through. But one of the reasons there were so many players back in those days that you're talking about is because you could bank 100,000 or 200,000 playing in Australia and then piggyback off that and go chase a European tour card. The other thing was tour schools, you didn't have to go on. You could actually play in a tour school and go straight onto the PGA Tour and not go onto the Corn Ferry Tour, which is the situation that we now see. So there's a few headaches like that that stops kids really, I can only talk from my own experience. After the 92-93 season, I had $200,000 in the bank after tax. I went to all the tour schools. I chased it. It used to cost a lot of money. I remember going to the...
Oh, Q School's a hell of an investment.
Cost a hell of a lot of money. So I remember when I went to I got all the way into the final stage. So I didn't have to go stage 1 or stage 2. I went straight to stage 3, final stage in 1993.
In the US?
In the US.
Wow.
And that was based... I finished 13th on the 92-93 Order of Merit.
Gosh.
And that got me all the way to the last stage of the US tour school.
There's a big difference there, I would say now. I mean, I think our access into Q schools back then was better.
Yeah.
I think similar thing. I got into the second stage US tour school.
Yeah.
Might have been a similar ranking, and that was in the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, so things were just slowly changing at that stage.
Got me into the final stage in Europe, which is why I went the European route as well. So, but the other thing and I hate to say this, but I'm trying to say this in the best, nicest possible way. I think the young players now, especially coming through the high performance programs and those things, they're given a lot. They don't have to fight and claw their way as much as I think, and I sound like an old fuddy-duddy, as much as we did.
It's accurate,
back in the day. They didn't learn they're not learning how to score when things aren't going right. Like, Scotty Scheffler's a great example at the US Open. How'd he see game? Finished fourth.
Yeah.
Well, and I hate to say this about our Aussie guys, they didn't have their A games either, but they all missed the cut. Now, I know they can all play for certain, but we're talking about why aren't there more players out there on the tours, and it's the development side of things where there's not it's almost not enough competition in a way that if you don't, play, you're already on the team type stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
you're on the team.
You don't have to play your way onto the team.
That's
You're
right.
already on the team. Whereas before, if I don't play well, I'm not on the team.
That's it.
The college system, in a way, is quite good for that, right?
So
I mean, I never went to college, but you basically have to. You almost play a little tournament before you've got to go away for this. To represent your college, you got to play a tournament to get onto the team.
You got to play in a tournament to qualify for the team, and then if you don't perform well in the tournament, then you're back to qualifying. So there are all kinds of rules like that.
So I don't know what the qualifying criteria here in Australia is to become a part of the rookie program, part of the development program, part of whatever it is. I actually don't know. So I'm probably speaking out of school here.
I watch from a distance and I see basketball, right? So you got Josh Giddey's and you got the Ben Simmons of the world. They're pretty much, 1 year in college for Ben Simmons, and he was away. Just played the NBL. Josh Giddey for Adelaide, and he was drafted. But there is a team called St Mary's over there, and that takes everybody else from Australia, and it's full. It's been full of Australian teams for Australian players for a long, long time.
Wow.
And those players come back and they're a hell of a lot better. I don't know why we're not doing that here. I've got no idea, because you've got the elite, right? So you've got the top 3 or 4 amateur players, boys and girls. Those guys are going to get all the trips. They're going to be in all the Australian teams, and they get all the exposure, and they're away. What happens to the 25 kids who are underneath that top 3? So I think they should be facilitated to colleges everywhere. I think Golf Australia should say, okay, let's go to Texas Tech and let's take this kid with me. Because, I mean, the kids that I've taken overseas, and I haven't got anyone into Texas Tech, but I've got them into junior colleges. And let's talk about Max Charles, for instance. Okay, Max Charles left Australia. He was number 7 on the pennant team at Kingston Heath as an 18-year-old. So hardly setting the world on fire.
Sure.
He goes and plays well enough in a junior college to be scouted by Boise. He ended up winning 3 college events. He came back. Now, he hasn't kicked on as a pro, but the development from Max Charles being number 7 at Kingston Heath in a pennant team to winning 3 times on the college circuit is a huge chasm of improvement. Now, I wouldn't even say that Max at the time was in the 25 I was talking about below the top 3. He wouldn't have even fit into that category, but he came back as a hell of a player. So I don't understand, and this is just because of what I saw and what I know, I don't understand why more young players aren't at this level. Okay, you're not going to get in the Australian teams, but bloody hell, you should be playing at Texas Tech.
Right.
And, maybe he ends up being the number 2 to Ludwig Aberg at Texas Tech, like Ludwig was, and to having that experience. I mean, there's so much to gain from taking kids out of a system that play against 3 or 4% of the world's best juniors and throwing them into a system where they're playing against 85% of the world's best juniors.
Nick and Mark, I would assume, and maybe I'm wrong, so please tell me if I am, but I would assume the support and the pathways offered in Australia for young men and young women golfers are broadly not dissimilar. If it is the case, why is it that the women are doing so well? I mean, they're killing it, yet the men are not.
That's a good question.
Well, look, it is a good question, and one of the answers is because there's just not as many girls playing golf. I mean, that's the simple facts. I mean, if you've got 3 elite girls in our system, if you just look at the numbers alone, so I think for every 90 boys, there's 10 girls playing golf. That's what it feels like to me when I go from golf course to golf course. It's 9 to 1.
Okay.
So that means if you do the same ratio, times 1 to 9, so the 3 girls who are elite, that's like having 27 boys who are elite in the same thing. So it's just a numbers game, in my view, why the girls are playing so well. And that's why I think if you've got a 3-woman team and a 3-men's team, then you've got 20 kids missing out who are just missing out on these teams. And they just don't get the exposure. So that's my view without doing a lot of investigation.
Yeah. And that's not at all being critical of the women because they're amazing.
No, they're killing it. They're doing extremely well.
No,
it's a global game.
And it's weird. I mean, 3 of the best players Australia's produced at the moment, I don't know why, I kind of half know why, they're from WA.
Yeah.
You've got Minjee, Hannah and Kirsten Rudgley.
Yeah, look, they played in a lot of teams together, those girls coming through. They got some great exposure of world-class amateur events.
And Richie Smith had, a bit to do with 2 of them.
And then I'm absolutely certain that the tournaments where the boys play against the girls here in our summer.
The WebEx Players Series.
Oh, it's been so good for the girls.
It's helped helped the women out more than the guys, put it that way.
It's helped the women out so much more than the guys. Absolutely.
We had an email from while we're talking about women's golf. We had an email from Spike.
Yes,
and Spike said, "Let me just find this here."
Come on, Spike, give us something good.
All right, here's this message from Spike. Hey gang, Nick, after you mentioned Cassie Porter was in your top 5 favourite people to play with recently, I started following her and watching her. Now, she didn't get started in the US Open, but she was in the leaders from start to finish in the Maya Classic. Is that how you say it, Maya Classic?
Maya.
Okay. Finishing 3 strokes from the winner. Great ball striker. She was 20 to 30 metres ahead of Lode and Yan in the final group. Does Cassie qualify as a flusher? And a question for you, who would be in your top 5 female golf flushers? Lorna, Lexi,
Here we
Nelly,
go. Let's put a
Lynn Grant, maybe?
little list.
Lynn Grant.
Cassie does qualify as a flusher.
Yeah.
I was watching the end of that Maya event. It was over a week ago now, and she was ripping it off the tee. About 155 to 160 mile per hour ball speed, which has got us covered. I know that.
Yeah. Have you seen Annika hit the ball?
Annika Sorensen.
Annika Sorensen was unbelievable. We're talking about
she's a machine.
Flushes.
Machine-ish. You got to put Annika
a machine.
there.
Yeah, a machine's probably a better term for her than a flusher, but she was same flight, same spin, same, like put a blanket over the balls in the range style golfer.
Yeah.
So she'd be in there.
I'd put Paddy Tabatanicut. I don't know if you've ever seen her play, but my goodness, she can do things with long irons that a lot of the women can't.
Yep, she's
so
a star.
Put in Tabatanicut.
Um,
Who else?
Well,
Carrie Webb was always a flusher, wasn't she?
I thought I wouldn't call her. I thought she was just hard. I thought tough. Mentally tough.
Which is what a lot of our golfers need.
Yeah. I think Kari was she's obviously hit the ball well, but I felt like her mental toughness outranked her flushing ability.
Okay.
But I don't think that about Minjee. I think Minjee is a flusher who could do with a little bit of Kari.
Yes.
And I think that would work well.
Mm-hmm.
So I put Minjee in the flusher category.
Minjee, okay. That's 3.
Hannah?
Need a couple more. You could. Now you could put Hannah in there, I think, as well.
This
Aussie
show
lean
has
here.
an Australian lean, so yes, she definitely gets in there.
And then the other one it's an obvious one, Nelly Corder.
Nelly.
I mean,
Absolutely.
how can you go past Nelly? She'd be probably number 1 almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk
Probably.
about those senses.
Yeah, so Annika, then Tanner,
Tanakit.
thank you,
Yeah.
Minji, Hannah, and Nelly fit
Nelly.
into that flusher top 5
most definitely.
pretty comfortably.
Well, I think in what's been an underwhelming week and a period for some of the Australian male golfers, it's nice to finish on a positive with that message from Spike, pumping up Cassie Porter, who was a star on the rise, which is
Yeah.
just fantastic. So that's a good way to end our Monday mini, boys.
Thank you, Dan.
Sounds good.
Thank
Cheers,
you,
guys.
Nicholas. Thank you, folks. Enjoy your Monday. Look out for the main pod a little later this week.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. Live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. The Golf Clearance Outlet, they beat everyone's prices. BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Better, ahead of the game. Ping will help you play your best. And Host Plus, they can help you drive your retirement further. Now that's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. This is general advice. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and share the pod with a friend. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie to Me.